Hello and welcome to another episode of the Everyday Joy podcast. I'm your host, Joy Ravella. Let's get into today's verse.
Friendly suggestions are as pleasant as perfume. Proverbs 27:9. That's the TLB version.
So I have got the lovely Jen in studio with me today. Jen, so good to have you.
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have you on the show all of this week because you come packed with some really unique life experiences and you're in just such a beautiful phase of life right now. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I am an assistant accountant. I'm a CPA accountant. So I'm actually a real accountant.
Okay,
I mean,
you're real. Yep.
I'm real. I'm very real. I think a lot of people look at me, they're like, are you an actual accountant? I think it's the blonde hair. It just stands out, right? So I'm a new mum to a little hurricane toddler who's 1.5 years old. She's running the house, so it's a bit scary at the moment.
She's at that age, I think, where she's testing her boundaries. She threw a banana at you the other day.
Yeah, no skin on, so it was very mushy. It left stains, but that's okay. You know, she's learning. She's got control.
It's part of the mum life, which I know we're going to get into tomorrow a lot more because you've had an incredible story with your IVF journey with you and your husband. And so we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But today we're talking about Proverbs 27:9. Friendly suggestions are as pleasant as perfume. Yeah. What are your first impressions of this verse, Jen?
It's such a sweet verse. And for me, perfume is a beautiful luxury and it brings joy and it's a really nice boost of confidence. Like when I have it on, I'm like, yay, like I smell nice. And it's the first feeling you feel.
Yeah.
It's one of your first senses. And like good perfume, there's like good friends and really amazing friends. They also do this very similar things. They bring you joy and they give you that self-confidence as well.
Yeah, I think that's what jumped out. When you wear perfume, you just kind of walk into the world with a bit more spunk. You're kind of saying to the world, here I am. And I think beautiful, friendly suggestions, when they come from the right place, they do just that. They adorn you. They make you feel like you can step out into the world smelling pleasant, nice. It's an interesting one. It's also a little bit, if I've got to be honest with you, I'm like, it's an interesting one to unpack. It's interesting that there's a link between a friendly suggestion and perfume. So I want to dig into that a little bit later. But for now, Jen, what are your thoughts on what this verse tells you about who God is or what matters to him?
Well, the practical side of me, God really values like a nice and delicate delivery of the advice. So it's not about the words that you use, and it's just the way that you say it. If you say it in a really rough way, that person might receive it in a really rough way too.
Yeah, so it's not just the fact that it's a friendly suggestion. You can deliver a friendly suggestion in a way or at a time that's not appropriate, and you kind of, you miss out on the bang for the buck. So that's so true. So how has this verse, Jen, come alive in your life?
Well, I wish I had this verse when I was in like the first few months of motherhood, of new motherhood. Like most mothers, I was sleep deprived. I was hormotional.
Hormotional?
It's such a great word. I love it. I use it all the time.
Did you make this word up or is it a thing?
I don't know. It just came to me. Maybe I just heard it like on the,
claim it, honey. It's yours. This is yours.
Let's all use it. Hormotional. Hormones and emotions, like they make the best drink, right?
Yeah.
So I was hormotional. I was lonely. I felt hopeless. I just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to my group of support, and I'm so blessed to have so many amazing mothers around me. And I was like, give me your advice. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so tired. When the next time I'm going to sleep? When's the next time I'm going to close my eyes? And a lot of this advice came from a good place. Like, I know it. I know they were meaningful and they weren't there to hurt me or anything like that. But I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. So I took the advice very differently to if I had just taken this advice when I was in a better mindset, when I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I was told not to help my baby go to sleep and just put her in the crib. Let her learn to, to sleep. Keep in mind, she's only 2 months old. And so I tried it. And she just cried, and I was staring at her. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And is my baby broken? I'm like, no, she can't be broken. Like, she's brand new to this earth. She can't be broken. So my next thought was, it has to be me. I'm the bad mother.
Yeah.
And I wish I had this verse just to remind myself, like, these are just suggestions from my family friends. I just needed to be ready to hear it when I asked for it.
That's crazy wise, yeah. Because I think, this verse talks about friendly suggestions being as pleasant as perfume, but they're only pleasant if you're in the right space to receive them. So I think you were absolutely well-intentioned trying to get advice.
Yeah.
And great advice, but when it wasn't working for you, it led you to, I suppose, a darker spot, a darker space.
Yeah.
Yeah, questioning whether you're a good mum, questioning your child and their health, and that's an awful spiral to be stuck in when you're isolated.
Yeah, it is hard, and I just wish I had this, like I said, I had this verse to just remind myself, and I wish I had that encouragement just to let me know that, this is all normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I know in reality, it's easy to think, yeah, this is normal. This is normal, that's not working for me. But when you're sleep deprived, when you're not in the right headspace, you just don't receive it. And you don't hear it the same way. And so that's my encouragement. That's my encouragement to other mothers out there, or for other students who are studying, or anyone that's working incredibly hard, is you've got this. I just want everyone to know that you've got this. You totally got this.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of the Everyday Joy podcast. You can get in touch via the email. It's just in the description below. Back tomorrow. I'll catch you then.